Hi there, welcome. Christine Weber here with my weekly live stream. Thank you for joining me. I love to support mature yoga teachers and getting your message out there into the world. So I appreciate you being here. Please leave comments, and I hope you're doing well. And those of you in the States, I hope you're enjoying your holiday and time with friends and family. Today I'm going to talking a little bit about chair yoga. I've been teaching chair yoga since 1995, actually. A long time. I really like that was my first thing was starting with chair yoga, and the first regular class I had was a chair yoga class. And I've taught chair yoga in a couple of different contexts. Well, I should say many different contexts, but when I first started teaching chair yoga, I was working with folks in nursing home assisted living facilities. So I had people in wheelchairs, and I was working with people who didn't have a lot of mobility. They used walkers a lot, so they'd come to the class with their walker and then sit down in the chair and have the walker in front of them. That is a true chair class. Those were true chair classes. And I use the word true chair classes because I'll tell you, I'll explain that in a moment. But true chair classes in the sense of the mobility of the people was limited and they still wanted to get some of the benefits of yoga. So chair yoga is just, it's so good for that population. There's so much you can do from a chair. There's so much, helping people reduce pain, helping people improve cognition, memory, all of that can and reduce anxiety, depression. All of that stuff is really great in that true chair class. The other kind of chair class I've taught many times is something that usually happens in a place like a conference or a some kind of presentation it's usually at a healthcare conference where I've done it, right? And so why have I taught chair yoga in that? Because we didn't have mats. So in those contexts, and maybe there's like a lot of people in the room, in those contexts, you got a bunch of people sitting in chairs, and then you were asked for whatever reason. I was asked for whatever reason to come in and teach a chair yoga interview. Maybe sometimes I would do like a 5-minute thing, sometimes a 20-minute thing, sometimes a 45-minute thing. But the difference is that plenty of those people could stand. And so in that case, it's not really chair yoga anymore, is it? It's mat-free yoga, because I'm going to have people standing to the side of their chair, or behind their chair, and the chair is just there to give them a space, create a boundary, if you'd like, of their own space for their practice. And we're doing lots of different extensions, and I'm using mountain pose up on my toes, and we're using the chair as if I'm still in that direction to do a warrior pose, maybe, or maybe for a lateral bend. I've got the chair there for support, and I don't know what kind of shoes people are wearing. But I can do tons of stuff. Maybe I get them to slip their shoes off and do tree pose. I can do tons of things standing with the chair that are appropriate for people of any ability, age, ability, etc. It just depends on the context of the class. So when I've done demonstrations in conference rooms, I've done all sorts of things with people where we have the chair. It's not chair yoga anymore. It's mat-free yoga. And then the chair is then we come back to the chair towards the end, and we do, meditation, pranayama in the chair. Maybe you still do some asana in the chair. So there's plenty of things you can do seated, but if I'm working with people who have mobility enough, I'm using mobility not in sort of the yoga sense, I'm using it more in the medical sense, like you're mobile enough that you can get up, then it's really not chair yoga. And I think it's good to differentiate that, because I think a lot of times people think chair yoga means you're just sitting the whole time. Now, I've also worked with people like in assisted living who maybe they had some cognitive challenges, but they were able to get up and down easily enough. And so lots of stuff, lots of standing stuff in that case. We live in cultures in the Western world where people sit way too much. And so getting up out of the chair, if you can, if balance isn't an issue, if mobility is not necessarily a huge issue, if that people have enough balance. Balance can always be an issue too. If people have enough balance that it's not a risk, then by all means, get up out of that chair. So those are just some of my thoughts today. And by the way, I started thinking about this last night when I was talking to a bunch of my students in the Subtle Yoga Resilience Society. So thank you to all of you. We had a great conversation last night about this very topic. So I thought I would share it with y'all. And I wanted to make sure that you know that this week I have a sale on many of my programs, including my signature course, the 40-hour Subtle Yoga Revolution online teacher training. Hundreds of teachers have graduated from that program, and it has transformed their teaching. So I would love you to check it out. We have a great sale on that until Friday at midnight. We also, my course called Subtle Yoga for Enhancing Trauma Recovery that I did with my husband, Brett Sculthorpe, who is a psychotherapist, that is on sale. And the Subtle Yoga Connect to Healthcare kit is on sale too. And that kit is really for folks who feel like, if I could reach out, if I knew the right healthcare people to get recommendations and referrals to, I know that I could have a thriving student body and a thriving business. And if that's you, if you really need the materials, the brochures, the templates, the research to be able to reach out confidently to healthcare professionals, then the Connect to Healthcare Kit can really help you. And we've had hundreds of teachers go through that program as well and tell us how much it's helped them to develop thriving practices. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, go ahead and check. I'm going to put the link in the comments. So check out the link in the comments. And if not, I will see you next week. Have a lovely holiday. Oh, actually, no, next week I'm going to take off because it's a break. It's a break week for me. So I'm going to take it off. So I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks so much. Take care.